Okay. There's not really enough light in here, but that's as good as I'm going to get on a crappy day outside. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Really sorry about the lighting in here. It is absolutely horrible outside, so even if I had a light ring, I don't think it's going to make that much difference. But anyway, right, onto the video. As you can tell by the title, the video is baby names that I absolutely love but will never use. That is because we're finished having kids. We've had one of each, and you know, pregnancy doesn't really agree with my body, and that's fine. I've done it twice. I'm amazed that I've been able to do it twice, so that's it. We're done. So yeah, let's get on to the names. So the way I want to do it is let you know the names that I myself liked for each of my children, and hubby kind of agreed with a couple of these. So for Hayley, the 3 boys' names and then 3 girls' names that I liked. So for Hayley, boys' names were Samuel, Benjamin and Charlie. Samuel I have absolutely loved since I was about 8 or 9. I've just loved this name. I was like, whether I end up getting married to someone called Samuel or, you know, my firstborn son will be called Samuel. I just have always loved this name, and obviously, you know, at such a young age, you want to have kids, but it's something that I never thought I would have. So I was like, even if I have a dog and it's male, I need to call it Samuel. Benjamin. Again, another name I have loved. I went to school with quite a few Benjamins or Bens. We do have a Ben in my side of the family, but I have just loved that name and always thought that if I even had twins, that I would call them Samuel and Benjamin. I just thought that was really cute together. The last boy's name is Charlie. Now again, one I haven't really loved forever. It's only probably been since, you know, like my late teens, so just before I met Steve, that I discovered this name and absolutely fell in love with it. The girls' names I had for Hayley were Isabella Joan. Now this particular name was 100% set in stone when I found out she was a girl, until I was at least, I want to say, 25 weeks. The only reason it was changed was because of my grandmother, who is now passed. She passed when Hayley was 3, and Hayley's nearly 9 now, so she's been gone a little while. She was my best friend. Sorry, my nose is running. So Joan is actually my grandmother's first name, and I just thought that was really special that, you know, she was my best friend growing up, and I wanted to keep the name going in the family. At 25 weeks pregnant, she decided to tell me that she did not want me to name my child after her, even like after she was gone. Like, she's like, over my dead body, you are naming a child after me. So I decided, okay, fine, I won't name her. And still to this day, now knowing that she is especially gone, I regret not at least giving Hayley the middle name. Is my sound even on? I hope it is. Perfect, it is. Just had to double check. So the second girl's name I had was Madison. Madison is one I have loved ever since I was very, very little, but my husband didn't love it, so that got vetoed straight away. And again, Chloe, another one that I really loved, but it didn't get used, obviously. So they are very, very cute names, but they are very popular and have been popular since Hayley was born. So she would have gone to school with pretty much so many Madisons and so many Chloes. She does now. So I'm glad that we went with something a little bit different. Hayley's name actually is Hayley Nicole. Hayley Nicole I found online at approximately, I want to say, 24-ish weeks, around about then. I was looking on Google and just found the name, and like my last name, my married last name, is actually quite a difficult one, and everybody says it wrong and everybody spells it wrong. So I wanted to not give her something that was really hard to spell, obviously, but I wanted to give her something that was different and that sounded good, whether you said it Hayley, our last name, or Hayley Nicole, our last name. I do prefer when people do call her Hayley Nicole last name, just because it does sound better, but we both really loved it. And you know, I remember the day sitting at the computer and my husband came home and I said, right, I found Hayley Nicole, what do you think? And he goes, I really like that, let's leave that on our list as the backup plan. So plan B, that was going to be her name. So I fought until the end to get Isabella Joan still, even though Nan didn't want it. I really still love that name, but it just didn't sit well with him. And even obviously, you know what family's like, family puts their 2 cents in, and they didn't like Isabella Joan either, and so she got Hayley Nicole. So boys' names for Alexander. Alexander was actually, or Alex was actually a name that my grandmother, the one that's passed now, actually said to me while I was pregnant with Hayley that she thought was very, very cute for either a boy or a girl. And I agreed and said, okay, I'll keep that on my baby name list. It went completely off the baby name list, and it wasn't until I was pregnant with Alex that I remembered this name. And so when Steve, Hayley and myself put names in a hat, we had a hat for first names, a hat for middle names, and we each picked a name. And then, so that was 3 first names and 3 middle names. Hayley, in the end, got both first names and middle name. So that was pretty cool. But we just kind of, yeah, my husband and I sat there just before he was born and said, okay, these are our names. We whittled them down to 1 or 2 instead of 3 of each. That's what we did. And just before I was wheeled into theatre to have him, we came up with Alexander James. Speaking of Alexander James, my husband and Alex are now home. Hopefully I'll get the rest of this video done. We'll see. Alexander's girl names. The one that was on the top of my list this time was Eloise. I had seen a movie when I was quite young, and it popped up while I was pregnant again on TV, and I sat and watched it with Hayley, and I said to Hayley, you know, what do you think of this name for if you have a sister? She really wanted a brother, by the way, so she's glad about that. But she absolutely loved the name. I loved the name. Nobody else loved the name, so it didn't get picked. That's as simple as that. But I still do love it. Not sure on middle names with that. That's kind of hard again because of the last name. It's very difficult. Now that the second one that I had on my list, which has become very popular in the last couple of years, is Zoe. I have loved that name for a very, very long time. The last one on my girls list is Nora. I wasn't really sure, but I just liked that kind of sounding name. I thought it went okay with the last name, but it wasn't something that I was like 100% on. It was just one that I kind of like threw onto the list because I could, and I kind of liked the sound of it, and yeah, that's pretty much it. But yeah, neither Hayley, Nicole, or James, which is Alexander's middle name, is a family name. I actually found out after Alex was born that my husband had a great uncle, I want to say he is, and they used to call him Uncle Alec, without realising that his actual name was Alexander. So it's not that, you know, Alex was named because of this particular man because I didn't know him. I had a girl first. I was really hoping for a boy this time. I am so thankful I did. I've always wanted boys, so I was really happy. Again, Samuel was the first one on the list. It's like I didn't get to use it with Hayley. 100% going to use it with this one. Didn't happen. Steve and I eventually decided that it wasn't really a name that we fell in love with anymore. Oh, hello! What are you doing? Say hi. Did you have a nice drive in the car? Yeah. You're so tired. At 25 weeks, I was hospitalised. I'll go into that in more detail when I do Alexander's birth story, which is the next video I want to do. So anyway, at the hospital, because we didn't know what we were having, I actually said to the doctors and nurses that I would like their opinion to see what we could name him. And we come up with a little plan that I'd had boys' names and girls' names, and then if we decided to pick one of those names, that they would get a little prize. One of the names, one of the female doctors actually came up with was Theo. I didn't love it, and it was definitely not one that I was going to jump up and say, yes, 100%. And then I thought about it after a little while, because obviously I was quite sick, and it didn't occur to me until later that night that Theo is short for Theodore. Once I'd worked out that it was short for Theodore and Teddy and all those little names like that you can change it into, I absolutely fell in love with it, and I was like, this is 150% my baby boy's name if it was a boy. Steve agreed, said yep, he loved the name, and we had a family name for middle name with him. I think it was John, I believe, from my side of the family. And then my mother came in and I told her the name and she went, no, don't like it. It's awful. It's old fashioned. And I went, but he'd be my teddy bear. And I was just like crying because I love this name so much, and got influenced by my mother again and other family members. It wasn't just mum. Said that they didn't really like that name. So that, again, another one went out the window. I decided that we really needed to come up with at least one or two names each. My last resort was to try and convince Steve to name our son Alfie. I absolutely adore this name. I think it is absolutely the cutest thing. I can see it on a baby. I can see it on, you know, a teenager. I can see it on an old man. On his birth certificate, he would probably be Alfred. I wasn't 100% on if I was going to do that or not, if we chose his name. So if he was to be Alfred, obviously, you know, when he's older, in his like 70s and 80s, he can be called that. But I just absolutely loved Alfie and really, again, wanted this name. But the husband said no, he didn't like it, even though one of his grandfathers is called Alfred. Go figure. But he just said it was an old man's name and don't like it, and so it went out the window. So again, went back to the hat, and Alexander was one that we pulled out. So that's what he got. There you go, guys. That is my baby names that I absolutely love, but will never, unfortunately, get to use again unless we get a dog or a cat or something, and then I can maybe use the name. Fingers crossed, we'll see. Alright guys, hope you enjoyed this video. I know obviously there's been quite a few around of baby names, you know, that I love but won't use. I just thought mine was a little different because obviously I won't ever use it on a human baby because there's no more babies. So yeah, don't forget to subscribe, give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you would like any other videos similar to this, then please let me know, and I will see you all next week. Okay, bye.